Oh my, you some early birds. Welcome. Wow, what a great surprise. Good to see you. Who is that? Margie. Hi, Margie. Great to see you, Patty. And anybody want to say hi? If you want to unmute and say hi, I would love to hear your voice and your name and where you're from, please. And I'm going to go live on Facebook while you're doing it.
Hi, Tom. I'm Margie Hastings. I'm from Rochester, New York.
I love Rochester.
Hey, Tom, it's Patty. Good morning. I'm from Eureka, Illinois.
Patty, do you have young kids, grandkids, or allowed?
No, I am an empty nester and no grandkids in the immediate future that I can see.
Then what are you doing in the closet for?
What am I in the closet? No, that yeah. No, it's my office.
Okay, very cool. I like your office. Hey, Melissa. All right, hang on, I gotta go live to Facebook here, so we're on time. Give me a momento here. Share in a group. Anybody else want to say hi? Come on. There's a lot more of you out there. Unmute.
Hey, good morning. It's Amanda.
Hello, it's Amy Bell from
All
California.
right. I heard Amanda first. Amanda, where are you from?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. And then I heard the amazing Amy Bell from Detroit, Michigan, right?
Nope, Reno, Nevada.
I know. That's with you. Hey, Amy, I just want to say, as we're getting started here, congratulations on your business. Congratulations.
Thank you kindly. We appreciate it. It's been just fantastic. What a wild, fun, exciting ride.
That's awesome. Hey, I want to remind everybody we're just about Facebook is having a little bit of a situation. Give me a minute here. Let me just keep trying here with Facebook. Facebook is preparing. What does that mean? While we're getting going here, I want to remind everybody, please keep it, because you guys are live with me on the Zoom, which means you're on the World Changer, obviously the paid training World Changer call that I do every single Saturday morning that we've been doing now for almost 10 years now. And actually for Kim and I, we've been doing it for 25 years by plugging into other people trainings. So remember, the Saturday mornings and the Tuesday mornings are for everybody that builds teams. They want to grow their leadership. It's not particularly for any one company, but it for sure is for your business. And it's very applicable. 99.99% is very applicable for your business. And it's almost better. It sounds crazy. It's almost better when it doesn't talk about your company And I'm going to share that here in a minute. Why? In a second. Why not company? Okay. Let me make sure. Let me try Facebook one more time. Is there anybody else that would like to say hi? I don't know if we're live on Facebook. Kim Challen, are you out there, beautiful?
I am.
Kim, is it live on Facebook? Check the Preneur group.
Okay, checking.
And
I'll
then
let you
let me know. Good to hear your voice. Your coffee is sitting out. Your coffee's sitting outside my office. I couldn't make it up, baby. Sorry.
Okay, thanks, babe.
So it's here. You just got to make the trip downstairs. All right. Anybody else want to say hi real quick? There's many more popping on.
Hi. Hi, Tom. Mary from Michigan.
Mary from Michigan. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's get rocking. Let me check one more time to Facebook, and then we're just going to go. Might not have a Facebook today. Okay, let me stop it. Let me try one more time. It's worth it here. Stop cloud recording. What does that mean? Dang. Sorry, guys. It's really. Okay, we're just going to move. We're just going to roll with that. So you guys it's good to be here on the Zoom this morning then. All right, so dang, what was I saying? Why? Oh, so here's why. I've seen a pattern that many people don't realize unless you've been through about 6 cycles of this. I've seen this scenario 6 times in network marketing. And it started with, anybody remember Dead Doctors Don't Lie? Anybody remember that by chance? Who's been around here for over like a million years? There was a cassette.
I remember.
Huh?
Mary, I remember that. I remember that.
There was a cassette tape that went around to the United States and Canada. Every single homeowner average got it 3 times in the mail. Every home. Can you imagine that? This cassette tape. And it was from a network marketing company called New Vision back in the day that turned into Vima by a friend of mine named BK Barreco and John Valeni and a whole bunch of other leaders that were more marketers. And what I've seen, and I can tell you multiple other stories where people get so fixated on a product, like a particular type of a product or a particular type of kind of an automated system or some kind of really interesting marketing spin on network marketing. And it comes around every once in a while in network marketing. And what a lot of people do when systems work almost too good. Can a system work too good? Yes. A system can work too good because as soon as people get so entrenched with just getting in system mode too much, they lose sight of the most important thing they need to do to sustain their business, which is the internal, the personal, the leadership, the strategic growth. Because if you take out that system, and I saw that with, I'll just give you some examples. You may or may not remember this. I remember it in Dead Doctors Don't Lie. The next one was Metabolife. Anybody remember that thing? I worked with a company that had the exact same product, but it was a natural version of that. And we used to have this huge marketing campaign called, if you like Metabolife, you'll love Slim Caps Ultra at half the price. It was the same manufacturer. Anyway, so it blew up our network marketing product business. And then the next one was Sea Silver. Remember Sea Silver? We did massive Christian radio ads all over the country. So those things, and here's what I noticed, and I'll just name 3 right now. People got so fixated on the process of that system and the process of marketing that product that when either the marketing campaign went away or the government in a couple situations said, hey, the ingredient's not good, you can't use that ingredient anymore, we're changing it, the entire sales force got practically decimated. Do you know why? Because they weren't able to adjust and do traditional referring and traditional duplicating and traditional referring people to a message, following up and enrolling with people. They were so focused on the simplicity of that process. So the reason why generic training is so good is because you get cross-trained and you learn how to do, you learn the basic skill sets. The first company that we were in was life insurance, Kim and I. Okay, it was life insurance, not the sexiest business product in the world, right? And to this day, it's a multi-billion-dollar company, and it has many millionaires in that company. And the owner said something to me many years ago. back in the day. And he says, if we want to be the number one sales team in the world that can market anything, we've got to develop our leadership and our skills. Because if one product or system changes, you can easily adapt. And he says, if we want to be the number one, it's funny he said this in today's world, toilet paper salesman in the world, if we want to be the number one toilet paper salesman in the world, we're going to be the best in the world at it, because we have the most skilled retailers and the most skilled recruiters and duplicators and business builders in the world, okay? So I wanted to share that story because I realized something this week that changed my life. And it came from a story. There was a story by a woman named Sherry Sharman. Sherry Sharman was averaging 200, as many months as 300,000 a month. She was one of my mentors many years ago. And when the internet started to come out, I said, I was kind of burnt out of these Saturday trainings that I'm on with you right now. I didn't want to continually just go through the training over and over. I've been doing it for 10 plus years at that point. And we were doing seminars every single month. And I told Sherry, the internet's here, Sherry. And I was kind of feeling like a little confident 25, 6-year-old guy. And I'm like, look, I'm going to teach my team how to build on the internet in their pajamas, kick their feet up on their desk, not have to go to events anymore, not have to go through the training all over the country and fly every month and spend $1,000 every time we do it. And I'll never forget, to fast forward, what happened was my business of everybody that followed me trying to figure out how to close cold leads on the internet, buying leads, worked for me and maybe 2 other people. But the team took some learning curve to figure out how to do it. And it took my business in the tank. And the only reason why business kept going is because there was a small handful of my team members that kept plugging into that monthly training around the country, paying money, going to the training. And it taught me a lesson of a lifetime. Fast forward a few years later, went through depression, lost everything financially, had all the cars repossessed. You heard the story. And I said, I'm going to get back in this industry, except this time I'm going to do something different. This time I'm going to be the most silly putty I can be, meaning moldable, coachable, humble. And I'm going to plug into the best, whatever training system I can find out there. And at the time, there was a mentor starting to do training named Danny. And I said, I'm not going to make the same egotistical or lazy. So it's either egotistical, which it was for me, or lazy, which it is for so many people, or poverty mindset. Why do I have to pay for training? Or why do I have to go to training? Why do I have to take the time for training over and over and over? And what new people do in our industry is they think that they can go to 1 or 2 or 3 trainings, get the gist of the bottom line of the steps, and be done. That's what normal new people think. Not all, but many, because I've seen the pattern for years and years and years. And for me, I plugged into that training and I knew it was the oxygen for me and my team. And every single month we hear the same thing over and over, the same dumb stories, the same processes. And I just said, whatever she says, I'm just going to be the best that I am capable of being in what she's saying. And I was so broken. I didn't like certain things. I didn't trust what she was saying, or I didn't believe 100%, but I still just had the faith to trust. And I just did it. And that's how I just said, for 1 year, I'm going to just do my best. And that's how I went and enrolled 1 to 3 people every day, because I just literally trust fall. Do you ever see that trust fall with like kids or grandkids, where you just fall and you just pray that someone will really catch you. You pray that the information will really work. And I was thank goodness I came out of such a deep financial hole and deep depression that I just said, okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to invite people to a YouTube message, and I'm going to follow up and enroll like my life depended on it. And that's when everything changed for me. And that's when I learned this, okay? That's when I learned how to get rid of something that I'm seeing many of you have. I don't know if you see it yet. And that is, and I'm not talking physical, by the way, but I'm talking about fat. And the reason why I'm seeing this is because we've been working side by side with some people that have been coming through our home in the last few months. And I'm seeing myself and my own fat. And I'm talking fat is things you're doing in your business that you think are moving you forward, but they're just keeping you from putting your toe in, working a little bit, and then coming out. Doing something and then coming out. Doing, coming out. Doing, coming out. Doing, coming out. And if you want to know, okay, if you want to know the number one way to burn out, number one, it's doing what you know in your heart you should be doing based on either what I'm saying you should be doing or some other mentor or trainer or upline. Because you all know what to do. You all know what to do. I know what to do. But even me yesterday, and I'm going to share what happened to me yesterday. You know, Lisa Van Horn's on here. Lisa Van Horn was over my home yesterday and she kicked my butt. She out prospected Tom Challen yesterday. She was more focused than Tom Challen yesterday. And sure, I went in there in the other room with Lisa Van Horn, who's Kim's friend, my wife's friend, by the way. And, you know, to coach her a little bit, right? Because I wanted to offer value and coach her a little bit. And I just kept catching myself. And at the end of the day, she's like, Tom, I just prospected 65 people. And I put XYZ people into the Facebook group. And I'm just sitting back going, oh my gosh, Tom, you worked all day. And look, I got a lot of people through the system. I did a lot of work. I enrolled 2 people yesterday, or 1 person yesterday. I had a great productive day. Our business is exploding. But that's all the justification in my mind. The reality is I really could have done my entire day in about 2 hours. Instead, and I'm loving it, by the way. I'm having a ton of fun right now, but I was literally doing it all day and all night till about 9:30 at night. Kim and I stopped about 9:30 at night. Actually, Kim kept going. So I stopped at 9:30 at night. So the question that I have for you is, and I want you to think about this, and this may not be a fun conversation, but now that I'm building again, and now we may be in one of the biggest recessions in our life. I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit more woken up than I was about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you're perfectly financially prepared, or at least financially prepared, because what I'm realizing is I've been squandering a lot of things over the last many years, and this situation that's happening in the world right now has really opened my mind. And I don't think we're in, especially those of you that have income, like Kim and I at least, and Amy White and so many other leaders here, we have the ability to make full-time income in network marketing right now. So we're not as affected by traditional job or career. But many of you need to really just learn. Many of us, we really need to learn how to get into doing the most productive thing possible throughout the day. And I promise you something, world changers, team builders, amazing, beautiful leaders. Hang on 1 sec. Babe, can you help me with the muting? Someone accidentally unmutes. Oh man, what was it? Oh shoot, I lost the train of thought. Kristie's phone now. When you're in the zone, when you're in a zone doing exactly what you know you should be doing, and you'll be able to take your time frame. Are you here, babe? Thanks,
I am, but I can't mute. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's Kristie. There we go. Okay. So when you learn how to cut the fat out, you know what you're left with? Lean muscle mass. And again, I'm not talking about physical in this situation. I'm just using an analogy. When you have lean muscle mass in your business, it means that if you're used to working 5 or 6 hours, or even 2 or 3, you might only need to work for 45 minutes to an hour, because the only thing that we should be doing 70% of the time, and I know you hear this all the time. But I promise you, I want all of us, including me, because I'm telling you, I got woken up this week. I got woken up to pretending. I got woken up to thinking that I'm working, but I'm really not. I'm really stringing out my day and not getting as productive as I can, because I know the difference of what it looks like, smells like, feels like, tastes like. Thank goodness I know what is possible kind of like you all know how to ride a bike. Your mind and your muscle will connect and it will go back to knowing how to ride a bike. I pray that many of you even know, I don't know yet. Some of you may have never ridden a bike in network marketing yet, meaning you don't know that you don't know what's possible yet. So it's important if you don't know what's possible, because some of you are like, okay, well, tell me what's possible, Tom. That's the journey that you got to go on. And that's why, I mean, one example is to get the priority year. Many of you already have the priority year, and just trust fall someone's system. If it's not mine, go to, if you have an upline, and I'm just going to tell you who I want to learn from. There are a lot of very good generic trainers. I've been a generic trainer for years. I'm going to say something. Generic trainers are really good at giving you value of what they've learned from so many 6- and 7-figure earners. It's extremely good information. But I like to learn from people that are in the trenches and feel the pain of yesterday, knowing how to be direct. And it's not as fun of a training. Like when people are in the trenches, it's not as fun because I'm not trying to make you laugh or as much. I'm not trying to make you cry as much. I'm not trying to keep you as a client. I don't want to survive financially only on keeping you as a client. I want to help you as a team builder, as if my life financially depended on you growing your team. And I have a whole different mindset when you do that, when you learn from someone like that. So it's extremely important, in my opinion. It's good to have generic trainers. It's good to have other coaches that are not in our industry too, or not particularly building right now. I'm not saying that's bad, because you will learn what they built 10, 20 years ago or many years ago. But it's extremely good also to have at least one mentor or 2 or 3, at least one that can help you in the trenches with this, okay? So here's the question that I have for all of you. And I see Brooke Ryan out there. And Brooke Ryan, thank you so much, by the way. And you know what we're talking about. Thank you. So how many of you, if you guys want to just I want to have dialogue with you. Is anybody completely in the trenches right now? Or are you in the trenches more than ever before? And if so, what are you doing? Okay. If so, what are you doing? And if not, ask me, Tom, because some of you don't even know what the fat is. The worst place to be is not knowing the difference between what you're supposed to be doing 70% of the time you're working your business and the 30% when you're working your business, what you should be doing. And when you're done, here's the big one for many of you. Here's the huge one. Many of you don't know how to shut off your business mentally and physically sometimes. And it takes both, because if you shut off physically in your day, but you're still like always like this, oh my gosh, I got to get back to that person. Oh my gosh, you'll never mentally shut off. And you could do that for months. Some of you could do it for years if you're really disciplined, but it's not really fun. At least if you're me, it wasn't fun to toggle all day, because it feels like you're never resting. And it actually, for me, I realized it was a sin because I was striving. The Bible talks about not striving, because I was putting my faith, my God, into my business more than I was into my Father, my Heavenly Father, my faith. So let's talk about it. Who wants to be brave and just kind of share in this dialogue right now? And again, if you're in the trenches, and I know there's some people that have moments of being in the trenches like crazy on this phone because they're top producers right now, like Brooke Ryan. She is crushing it. I mean, I don't know. I think she's over 20,000 or something crazy in her business. Brand new. She's brand new to a new company following a process. We have Amy White, who's done, I believe, close to 80,000 in volume this month in her business. And she's only been doing it for about 90 days or so, or less. So there's some incredible leaders on here that are having wild success. Holly O'Brien. Hey, Holly, good to see you. Good to see you, Jerry. Wow, the call is packed. So many incredible people here. Awesome. Anybody who wants to, or any questions that you have, go ahead and unmute your phone. And who wants to be brave? Oh, someone's coming to get their coffee.
Tom, I'll jump in. It's Christine.
Oh, you want to do closing? Okay. Well, if you guys want closing, I'll switch gears too I'll switch gears here. All right, go ahead, Christine.
So for those of you who know my company, which sells natural stuff, I have been reaching out to so many people. First of all, I'm an extrovert. I'm a like serious extrovert. So being in quarantine, I have been reaching out to a ton of people and just saying, hey, how you holding up? Like seriously, just asking them how they're doing, engaging in dialogue, letting them know that I'm thinking about them. And then I ask them, hey, do you feel like you're all set with these things that are typically not in the store right now? And I'll list off a few things. Or are you open to hearing what I'm using for my family? And I've been having a lot of success. I mean, a lot. So it's not business focused, it's more product focused. But with this particular company, it usually, I have had difficulty leading with business. It's not that I haven't led with business and been successful. I have found that when I lead with product and I convert them to business, it's an easier thing. So I've been, and I'm getting people signed up, and then there's testimonies. Those testimonies go into my ATM group. So then it creates more momentum. So at this point, I'm very excited about the momentum that's being generated.
Right on. Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you. You're coaching. And I wanted to say that I resonated with what you said, because I definitely am the type of person who was like, okay, I saw that movie once, or I read that book once, I'm good. And it's like, I don't know if anyone's on faith here, you don't read the Bible once and then just say you're good. You've got to keep reading it every day and applying it. And I find that these coaching sessions help me with that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We love you and we're so proud of you. And I'm super excited that you're in a flow right now, girl.
Totally. Like what I told myself is, for the last 2 weeks, I said to myself, I am saving at least an hour every day with commuting. I'm so blessed in that I get to do my day job at home, but I'm saving at least an hour every day in commuting. And I've been dedicating an hour every day and just, add tag message, ATM, sending stuff, just getting folks out there. And I've put like people in my hot list and in my pipeline that had been empty for a while, and I'm working that every day. And it's like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. So, just in the last few days, I did a couple of people, and and I'm just going to keep on going. My goal is at least 2 people a week.
So awesome. All right. Let's keep it flowing here. Good to see you, Kelly Ryan. Okay, so question of the day is, I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm looking at all the chat. What do you guys want to learn today? What question do you want to, Kim says everybody wants to know about closing. Is that everybody or 1 or 2 people? Go ahead and type in what you want to do, because I've got something really big on closing too.
Tom, I have a question.
Go for it. Hey, Jerry.
I have sent messages or telephone texts to about, not quite 200 people. I have heard back from only 6 of them. I have invited those 6 into a group. Some have accepted, some have not. What I want to know is, how do I go back to the rest of those people who have not responded at all? Do I send them just a little twist of the message, or do I say, have you had a chance to think about what I sent you day before yesterday? How do you word going back when I ask them, give me a thumbs up if I can add you to a group to learn more about it?
Oh my gosh, I got a whopper, Jerry, for you, because this is one of the things I'm feeling in the pain. Okay, I want to, Jerry, do you mind if I'm going to share this with everybody, because this is, a lot of people are struggling with this right here. And basically so here's what I'm going to share with you guys. A lot of you are struggling. You're adding people to groups like crazy. You're texting, you're getting a lot of activity, but you're not getting a lot of results of people saying, sure, I'll go to the group, or sure, I'll watch the video, or sure, all that kind of like the other pieces of that process. You're just kind of planting the seed. It's like you're taking the seeds in a farm and you're going like, boom, 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 plant, 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 plant. You're just like plant, plant. And here's what I mean. Okay, there's some of you that are working this like the turtle, and some of you are working it like the hare, the herd, the rabbit, or the turtle, basically. Some of you are working your ATM process like a rabbit. Some of you are working like a turtle. And you want to know what's better? Anybody have an idea what's better? As I turn the heat,
hare.
put it in the chat, please. Put it in the chat. Turtle or the hare? Dang, coffee heats up my body. Okay, the turtle. Okay, so a lot of you are saying turtle. A lot of you are saying turtle. You know, I think Mimi is the only one that got it right, and I wasn't thinking of this, but technically Mimi's right. It's both. But I want to lean initially towards turtle. I know that sounds crazy. Kim prospects like a flippin' turtle. It drives me bananas. It is so, she takes so much time. She makes
Be nice. Hey, be nice. Be nice.
Just let me finish. And then you tell me if I'm digging on you, okay?
Okay.
All right. She is so slow in getting ready. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going down that road. She's so slow. Like, she'll invite someone and she will literally, pray for them. She will look at them. She will, she'll check them out on social media if she knows them or not. And then she will make a message to them. And then she will make sure that she handholds them to make sure that they get in the group. And then she will make sure that she tags them appropriately to that group. It's very VIP, slow, methodical, drives me crazy. She did that with 13 people in end of November, December. Those 13 women turned into almost 2,000 and over 1.2 million of sales, and hundreds of thousands a month in volume now. It's crazy. And the growth is, so I like to go really fast. And I just look back at my kid and going, you just crushed it, girl, right? So what I'm noticing with even me is sometimes when I try to rush the process, now look, there is some speed that needs to happen because some of you, again, in this ATM process are not even at 10% of your potential of how consistent and a little bit quicker you could be if you got rid of the blinders of some of the wasted time, energy, and things you're doing, which again is what I'm referring to as fat. So Kim is very successful. Now, do I think she can go a little faster with a little bit more consistency? Yes, but she's still really successful with it. And do I need to slow down maybe a little bit and be really, and not, because I go so fast sometimes I lose people. And I put so many, I make such a mess sometimes, almost, and I tell you to make a mess, but sometimes my mess is too big, right? So, and I'm not saying you're going too fast, Jerry, but it may be also too, for a lot of you, and I'm not gonna say for you, Jerry, but the reason why I noticed some people it not working as well for, by just adding, and going through the same script, the same motions. Well, one, there's an influence factor there too. If you've got, and it's not about being some kind of big leader or making big money. What I'm talking about now is a decision that you make. You're gonna have to, every single one of you are gonna have to make this decision. And it truly isn't a training you need. It's not another book you need to read. It's not any kind of new, like, oh, if I just get through Tom's priority year or Ray Higdon's or this person. No, that'll help maybe build some confidence to get you there. But all of you can make that decision right now. And that decision is to do this, to do what Lisa Van Horn did. She went from 10 years of building like this. Can y'all see me? Let me see if I can see my picture myself here. She went from building like this. And I'm not saying, I'm just over dramatizing Lisa. I love you. She's like my sister. Like, she's building with her shoulders down, tonality maybe a little bit lower, belief not very high, confidence not very high. I mean, she's not made much money in the industry, and she's been doing it every year, year in, year out, trying, swinging the bat, not working, swinging the bat, not working. And then the moment she shows, I didn't give her any special, like, you know, of course we trained her, but I've been saying the same thing to her for years. I've been saying the same thing. And then all of a sudden she's like, it's time for me to walk it out. She put her shoulders back a little bit more, not completely yet, but she put those shoulders back, and she says, if Tom can do it, and she watched me prospect and she realized I'm not that great. She realized I'm just kind of a goof, right? And, or whatever she realized. I don't know what it was. I'm just kind of, but she basically, she had posture. She had confidence. And she just says, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to drop all of the sabotaging, and I'm going to create the influence and the confidence and the expectancy that those people that I invite, I'm going to speak to them via audio for her or text for you. And I'm going to be like, hey, I'm launching a new project with my bestie. You got to see what's going on, girl. Is it cool if I add you this new Facebook group to see what's going on? By the way, it's in the fitness world. I know you're all over the yoga world, you know, the yoga scene. Is it cool if I add you? Look, I didn't come off a script when I read that right now. I didn't read anything, but it's in my heart of just smiling and having confidence. I expect when I give that message to that person, the way that I give it, and it's not special how I give it, it's just coming across with influence, confidence, expectancy, joy, no big deal, not overselling it, really short and simple, using one key word there. The only key word that I like to use a lot lately, and I got this from one of y'all from my training, I got it from y'all, was openness. Are you open? Not opportunity, not check out my essential oils, not check out my, you know, whatever, but are you open? And if you got a hot product, you could say it. If your product's pretty known out there in the industry, you might want to keep it more generic, just the way that it works. So that's why for some of you, you need to go a tiny bit more slow and really take your time with each person out again. But then the other part of it is you want to get, you want to get to at least, I think it was Courtney Nye. Courtney, you know, she's not here. She messaged us and says, Tom, I can't be on the call. She's going for 50,000 in volume. She just hit like 30,000 in volume or something like that. And now she's going for 50,000 between now and Tuesday. That's how many people she's putting through her system. And that's how many people within less than, I think, 60 days she's been in the business, she's already at or rounding up to getting to her goal of 50,000 in volume because of this process. And I'm telling you, Courtney is amazing. Kelly's amazing on this call. Brooke Ryan, Christine Brock, Jerry McClinnon, all of these girls are amazing. But I promise you, God created all of you very different, but there's not one human being on here right now that couldn't get in a replication zone of having more confidence and going through the motions. Not one of us has extraordinarily something very crazy unique that makes it that much different of why it's working for you or me or anybody else. It's just they're doing the thing. They drop the sabotage. And here's the sabotage. I'm going to tell you, this is a sabotage. And you will spin your wheels if you're thinking this way too much. Who in the world, okay, here it is. You ready? Who in the world is going to want you to message them during this major crisis right now where people are suffering and hurting and people are dying? Who in the world is going to want you to message them? About 95% of the population in the world right now. Now, I could be wrong. It might be 90. I don't know the number, but I know that I know it's way over 50%, meaning it's our obligation to go out there and be okay with taking bullets. And 1 in 10 people minimum is going to yell at you. And so, well, and I don't want to sell it, but I'm hearing this. I'm hearing it. I'm not getting it as much, but I'm hearing that, you know, every once in a while, you're going to get someone blast you and say, why in the world? Do you know what's happening? Right? Yeah, I'm trying to move my family forward and give people a chance to position themselves so they're strong financially and they can be blessed by our products in the community and the growth and do something while they're at home instead of waiting for the government, you know, whatever. I'm not going to say that, right? You guys get it, right? But, there's some people that just want to go that way. They want to sit on the news all day long and just dwell. They love it. They thrive on that. And maybe they're hurting on top of that. So they're dealing with all that junk. And then on top of that, they're also hurting maybe with something, a layoff. But unfortunately, the timing for them is not now. They put a bubble around their self and you're trying to penetrate it and it doesn't work. So just move on. So that's an example of what junk or sabotage do you need to let go so you can do. I wish, because I love Lisa and her family. Ryan, her husband, is like a brother to me. Her kids, I love them even though I drive them crazy. I wish I could have went back 10 years ago and been stronger, more loving. I don't know. I wish she could have saved herself 10 years of pain, 10 years of not having success, financially in this industry, and me and Kim watching it, and we're succeeding, but she wasn't. Why? Just that one switch. And maybe since she's here, maybe I should have her talk about it. Lisa, if you want to add on to that, I'm sorry, I'm telling your whole dang story and you're right here. I'm such a dork.
Hey, Tom.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going back to my old habits. Anyways, can you mind sharing real quick, kind of like your perspective of that real quick?
Yes. No, Tom, I just want you to know I totally appreciate you and love you. And the process was the process. That's the process that it needed to be for me to make the changes I needed to make the changes within myself. So don't feel bad that you wish you could have gone back and made things different. So that's my journey. That's part of it. For me, it was, I just needed to stop overthinking it. I needed to stop having that negative mind space. I needed to stop worrying about what other people thought about what I was saying, what I was doing. And there was something that switched in me the first day I came to your house when I started doing this with Kim, and I sat next to her. And I think what it was is that instant I became the most coachable, teachable person I think I had ever been in my life. I have tendencies of being extremely stubborn, extremely stubborn. And I don't know if it was just a God thing that's like, this is your moment. This is your time. I'm changing you. This is not who you are anymore. And this is who I'm going to show you who you are. And in that moment, I sat there and I told Kim, I'm like, tell me what to do. What are you doing? I'm going to do it. No questions asked. Just give me exactly what it is and I'm going to do it. And from that day on, that's when it all changed for me.
That's awesome. You said something really interesting. My mentor said years ago, because Lisa's a little bit more reserved, not as extroverted as me and other people. She's a little bit more quiet. But it's interesting. She said she was very stubborn. And one of the things my mentor used to say, she says, some of the most stubborn people in the world are the shy introverts. It's so crazy. You wouldn't think that, right? It doesn't make sense. But
it totally does though, because yes, I'm definitely more of an introvert. Like I'm attracted to people like you. I'm attracted to people who are more outgoing because I wish I had more of that in me. And so, but yes, I'm very much an introvert, but I'm also extremely stubborn. I mean, you can ask Ryan, I'm sure he'll tell you.
Oh yeah, he does. I'm just kidding. So I want to circle back really quick to Lisa. Thank you so much, by the way, and congratulations. You guys, you're just killing it. And yesterday, you helped me yesterday. Iron sharpened iron yesterday. The tables were turned yesterday. So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Tom. Love you.
Kicking my butt. I'm going to go back to Jerry because my wife is so amazing. She kept me. I want to finish up with Jerry a little bit. I thought I gave Jerry the big picture answer, which is grow, kind of some steps in what I would do. But what I would do specifically, Jerry, is I would go back like I did with Chad yesterday. I have a good friend of mine that's blowing me off like crazy because he knows what I'm doing, right? He knows the game. And I don't know if I could play this, but let me just play this message that I did with him, Jerry. And yesterday, because of Lisa, I'm like, I've learned some of you are leaving your message, you're planting your seed, but you're not going back and watering it. You're not putting fertilizer on it. You're not taking care of it, which means you're not touching it again and again and again, which means, let me be specific now, which means you're not, you send one message and that's it. With Chad Dewey here, Chad Dewey, I don't know if you could see this, but I've been trying to message because I really know he's supposed to work with me, him and his wife. I've been messaging him, voice messaging him, and he's blowing me off, but I'm not taking it personal. The last message I just did with him was more of my old self. I don't know if it's a little specific. Let me see if I can play a little bit of it, and I might have to shut it off. Hey, big guy. All right, it's me again. You're like, oh, not Tom again. I'm going to be persistent. And now here's all I ask, brother, man. Just take a full look at this thing. We've done $1 million in sales in 4 months. Okay. Do you hear that? So again, I don't know if it's perfect words, but it was coming from my heart and coming from a confidence perspective. And again, I'm sure I say the wrong things all the time, but I can't overthink it. I'm like, dude, just take a full look at what Kim and I are doing. I know I've shared other things with you over the last 20 years. We've been friends for 20 years. He's heard and seen everything I've ever done. He knows my ups and downs. He knows, anyway, so, and I'm just like bold with him. I'm like, just take a full look. I don't want to be kicking myself for my life if you don't at least see what the heck's happening with this thing. Is it cool if I give you, can I just add you to a Facebook group, Chad? And he finally says, he's like, yeah, what you got, my man? Right? So Jerry, what I would do is go back to all those people and either give them a thumbs up emoji if they didn't respond, a smiley face emoji, change the color of the text in Facebook, leave another audio message like, hey, did you get my message? Hey, I want to see if it's cool if I add you to the Facebook group. I'm doing a new project. I was thinking of you. Is it cool if I add you? So I come back and do multiple touch points or follow-up points. I don't just plant one seed and ask someone, and if they don't say anything back, it's not rejection all the time, y'all. It's not rejection. It just means that they're not good at confrontation. They're not interested, but they don't know it yet. Or maybe they're not interested, but you don't know, like they don't know what's going on. So they're just going to ignore it. It's just what a lot of humans do. It doesn't mean they wouldn't actually be interested once they actually went through the process. Because once you get a prospect in motion, they tend to stay in motion. I'm reaching out to friends that are making 60, 70,000 a month in network marketing right now. And I'm not trying to necessarily directly expect them to be recruited. I'm like, hey, look, Aaron, I did this yesterday to my good buddy, Aaron. He's one of the top earners in his entire company with a CBD product. And I'm like, Aaron, hey bro, this is literally, I literally want to plant a seed, brother. It'd be a dream to potentially work with you one day. Timing may or may not be right now. I know you're crushing it in your business right now, but I at least want you to know what Kim and I are doing. Maybe your wife, maybe we can work with your wife or someone else, but at least I want you to know, okay? Kim and I are doing blank. Is it cool if I at least add you to a Facebook group so you can see what the heck's happening with our team right now and see our process, see what we're doing? And I've done that with a few people and they're like, yeah, I'm really busy with my business, but of course I'll take a look at what you're doing. Maybe I'll be a customer. And it's amazing. So I'm at least planting seeds with everybody. My goal is not to prejudge people right now and just go after it.
Okay, question. Do you go back to the same platform that you initially contacted them on? Some I text, some I message on Facebook Messenger, some I email.
Good question. When I wanted to spend the rest of my life with Kim Challen, I would have rented homing pigeons, sent a card every day in the mail, send a text message, send a Facebook message. If she didn't respond to my Facebook message, I would have Instagrammed her. If I found out she was on TikTok, I'd be the best TikToker in the world. True story, Jerry. True story. I hated country music back then. I never wanted to wear cowboy boots, but I became a country dancer, went to country bars, got country stupid boots on, right? My point is, I would do whatever it takes if I'm supposed to work with you. So yes, I will send an email. I'll send a text to you. I'll even send, Kim and I are getting in a flow finally again, where we're going to send cards in the mail to multiple prospects per day. So while they're thinking about it, while their spouse is talking to them, while they're consulting with their dog on the business or whatever they're doing, they're going to get a card in the mail and say, we're supposed to work together. I'm looking forward to helping you accomplish the $10,000 a month that you said that you want to make, so you never get caught in a financial devastation like what just happened in America. Looking forward to working with you. Our system works, and it'd be an honor to be able to partner with you in business. Okay, so you send a card. So yeah, when I want you in my business, I do multiple touch points if I have to.
Okay.
And I'm persistent. And look, if people, I'm just going to say it. If you're not getting a huge response, I'm helping you with some ingredients, but some of you really need to increase. Shannon Thomas. Shannon, are you here? Shannon Thomas, she may or may not be, she's here.
I am, sorry, I'm here.
Shannon, I'm going to talk about you, okay?
Yes, and this is my first call, like with you guys and at the World Changers. I'm loving this. Thank you.
Well, how many people have you enrolled in your business in the last 60 days or so? 96 days?
Yeah, since January 16th, 25.
She's been one of the top 3 or 4 enrollers in the entire company, and there's a lot of top enrollers in her company. Great job, Shannon. Shannon, I don't know if you know something that you did for me that changed my life when you were when we were hanging out with you a few days ago. Shannon's level of people skills is off the chart. We were showing her TikTok, and she's like, oh my gosh, let me see your TikTok, Tom. Oh my gosh, Lisa. Oh my, this is hilarious. She was belly laughing. And I was noticing me and Kim and Lisa, because she was so interested in my life and Lisa's life. And she had all of us going, oh, and then, I was showing her, I'm like, look at mine, Shannon. Now look at my TikTok, like a little boy trying to get attention from Shannon. You know why I was trying to get attention from Shannon? Because she had influence over me. And I don't even think she was doing it on purpose, because it's naturally, genuinely, she cares about people. And she was so interested in my life and Kim's life that we kept wanting to tell her more about her life. And if we were being prospected, which we weren't, we were just hanging out as friends, we would probably listen to whatever Shannon says. And I think the reason why so many people are enrolling with Shannon is because she sows seeds and love and influence. And the reason why she has influence over people is because she listens and she serves and loves her friends. Like and I could see why, because she sows into people with laughter and love and interest in their life. Some of you, many of you, if you're not having success getting someone to do something, the root issue, most likely, if you are working and taking a lot of action on the system, but it's not working, you've got to increase your influence, which is your people skill, your relationship skill. And I'm not saying you don't have good people skills, but I've learned something after 25 years. There's a difference between good people skills, which I bet all of you have, compared to good people skills that are specifically getting a result for prospecting in a product or business. Huge difference. Because you've got the people skills for prospecting and enrolling if you're enrolling, especially if you're working. Because if you're not enrolling and you're doing the process the right way, then it's the influence or people factor. And a couple things you could do right here as an example. I mean, I literally have this by my desk. Okay, this is just an example. How to Influence People by Jim Doran and John Maxwell, the authority on leadership. This is just an example. Or How to Win Friends and Influence People. Or Proverbs in the Bible. Or Corinthians, where you read about love. The #1 people skill book in the world is Corinthians, where it talks about love. And if you truly spend time, slow down, like what Kim Challen does such a good job. I'm learning so much from Kim right now because she slows down and she genuinely listens. She genuinely loves. She genuinely has the heart for that prospect. So do I, but sometimes I can go too fast. Sometimes I don't hear the person because my brain, anyways, I don't want to drop an excuse. I got to get better. Okay.
Tom, can I jump in again with something I learned outside of network marketing that I think really applies to what we do?
I've got a few minutes left. Can you just share it really quick?
It's real quick. Yeah, I'm learning Lean Six Sigma principles for my job, and it was a TED Talk by Simon Sinek, and his quote was, "People don't buy what you do; they buy why you do it." People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And it's a really good TED Talk. And then and this was all in the same section for brainstorming. It says the difficulty lies not so much in developing new ideas as in escaping from old ones.
So good. So good.
That's it.
That's good. I love it. Thank you for that. Next week, we're going to bring up hopefully Amy or Shannon or Lisa or Brooke Ryan or Courtney Nye or someone that's really crushing it right now. I wanted to get this message off today, but next week we're going to have a guest speaker most likely, okay? And all of you, if I just shared your name, I definitely want to talk to you this week. Okay, so I'm going to talk about closing right now. I got a bomb dropped on me, right? Here's what I'm going to share with you about closing. It's really important. The better you are at traditional closing, and I'm going to say what traditional closing is more of like a salesman. You're being more like a traditional salesman or woman, okay? So the better you are at traditional closing, old school closing, the less you will duplicate. Because if you're too good at enrolling people, which I was for years. My mentor used to call me the sunshine man. And I still don't know the analogy why. But basically, I had a huge front level, but very little second level, and hardly any third level duplicators. Because I was so good at explaining my comp plan, my business. I was so good at persuasion and influence. I would recruit a whole bunch of people that would sign up because I was so convincing and they knew I would never shut up, so they would enroll with me. I was like that for 10 years in network marketing, or 7 years in network marketing, until I figured out that the better I was at sales or closing or explaining or enunciating my words or convincing, or the better I got at that, the better I got at recruiting, because I recruit a bunch of followers, not leaders. All the leaders didn't want to hear my voice anymore. The leaders, the true alphas or the reds personalities or the blue personalities, they didn't join my business as much because they're so bored of hearing my voice when I was trying to prospect them. But when I did prospect anybody, all they remember is the duplication process. They remember that I spent 45 minutes on the phone with them trying to convince them about why our product was so great, why our leadership was so great, why our comp plan and this was so great, how this works. And I would pretty much just fire hose them everything I can think about in my head. And don't you dare ask me a question. Because if you ask me a question on, well, what will I be doing? Oh man, here's what you'll be doing, right? And I would basically explain the whole damn thing. And when I learned to go from that to letting the prospect lead themselves with them talking, me only asking questions preferably as much as possible. So when I answer a question, my goal is to be like a tornado, quick and done. Like answer it and be done. How does the comp plan work? Amazing. That's how my wife was able to make XYZ her first month. How does the product work? Amazing. Let me shoot you a video. Check it out. So it's like you use tools and leverage and systems And the only thing that's coming out of your mouth is, you know, someone said the other day to me on a prospecting call, I'm like, so why do you want to work with us? Instead of me trying to convince her why she wants to work with us, why we're so great, which is what I used to do, I'd be like, so why do you want to work with Kim and I? Why do you want to work with XYZ company? Well, because so she started crying. The emotion came out of her heart. I really want to take care of my husband. He works so hard for so many years, and I want to supplement his income. And my old self would have said, oh my gosh, you could totally do it here. Oh my gosh, here's how this works and our bonuses. Oh yeah, you could. And I would keep selling him on, thinking in my pea brain that I'm going to sell her on why. Timing wasn't right. I know through experience the timing wasn't right for me to start doing that right there. The better thing to do is keep asking another question. So what would it take to be able to fully secure your husband being able to finally come home and be with your family full time in the home? What would that take, right? Oh, it would take, she said 3,000 to 5,000 a month. And then I said, how many hours, if you knew that you can make that 3,000 to 5,000, how many hours could you contribute in working with Kim and I? She's like, oh, I definitely could put in, you know, XYZ. And I'm like, all I know is Lisa Van Horn never succeeded for 10 years. She joined us, came in at the top package, plugged into the training system, and within her very first month, not only did she make all of her $1,000 back, she was actually in profit by following the system. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that's going to happen for you, but if you truly are hungry and you truly do follow the system, I know our system works. Does that make sense?
Are you talking about me, Angelina?
What's that?
Were you just talking about me?
I was talking about a lot of people.
Okay, I was going to say that's probably definitely common, for sure.
Very, very common.
But the word vomit that you were talking about,
Yeah.
we call it word vomit at Lime Life. Definitely is a learned thing. You have to know why people are coming into it and what's their reason and how you can make it okay for them, for their goal, for sure. And I used to word vomit and just be like, oh my gosh, this company's so amazing, blah, blah. But they don't care about that. It's what do they need from the business? So that's why, I mean, I haven't signed up yet. I'm talking to the husband. I told him I can do this. I know I can. But I have a lot of interested people already. And I've learned it's taken me from my failures to learn how to approach people with a business opportunity, for sure.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm going to mute. I'll mute myself.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have anything on enrolling or closing or anything else? Before we wrap up, we got a few. And if you got to take off, please go prospect, go enroll, go do your thing. We only have a few more days left in the month. On Tuesday, the month ends. You're welcome, Amanda. Or any top leaders that want to share really quick?
Good morning.
Yes. Hey there.
It's me. Hi. Sorry I came in late. I had my first how dare you yesterday.
Yeah.
And it stopped me for a hot second, but then I realized that hurt people. And she's hurting, which it just kind of put, like last week we were talking and you said, put your butt on top of a 212 degree boiling pot of water and see how long you can sit. That's kind of what that did to me again yesterday. Is it didn't stop me. It didn't make me say, oh my God, I'm so insensitive, or who do I think I am reaching out to this person? It put that fire underneath me to show more that now more than ever, you need this. And she's lost her job. She's a single mom. And how dare I reach out to her at this time? And it was really sad. It breaks my heart that that's what we're living right now. That's the crisis that we're living in, but it doesn't have to be that way. So show them that there is a better way.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy, you guys. I've never seen, there's this call right now, and if we were on live right now, we'd have a few hundred people or hundreds of people watch it later too. It's packed right now. All of you are hungry like never before. There's a lot of people out there just like that. So yeah. And I appreciate you sharing that. It's Barbara, right? Barbara Bush. I appreciate you sharing that, Barbara. Because there's a lot of people out there like me even. I do get sidetracked too when I get hit with an emotional situation in the day, either a team member or something happened. It affects me. I wish it didn't as much, but sometimes it does too. The key is to stay in that zone and keep going, because we're in a business where we got to get used to a lot of arrows being hit at us, a lot of rejection, a lot of people being harsh. It's just the world that we're in. It's always been the world we're in. You just got to stay in that zone. Thank you, Barbara. Anybody else?
Yeah, can I say something?
Yes. Hey, Mimi.
Hey, this is in response to what Barbara just mentioned. I would say, and yet I just joined a company yesterday and it cost me $1,000. Okay, that was something I had to think about. I didn't put it on a credit card, you know? And so when I think about people, I think about there are people out there like me. So yes, somebody may come back negatively. Frankly, I expect that going forward, that is gonna happen. But that's gonna happen, you know, whether we have good times or bad times. And one thing that I've been thinking about is if people had gotten on board with this kind of business prior to this crisis, they would have had a check coming in or a second check coming in. Or if somebody in the family had gotten laid off, they would still have a check coming in. And I had heard many years ago from somebody who worked at Avon. And she said, during the Depression, Avon was one company that just kept going stronger and was making sales. And she said, you know why? Because when people can't go out and purchase, they want to be able to get on their computers, or back then it wasn't computers, but they could look at a catalog and they could actually purchase without going out to a store. And so I always go back to that, that there is always a silver lining. I'm not necessarily looking for the person that's going to give me that reason or excuse, because even that person, if that person can turn around her attitude and say, okay, I don't necessarily have the money, but I've got a couple friends that I can tap into, right? Then they can turn that cloud into a silver lining for themselves. So, I mean, I know a bunch of people that have just lost their job. Guess what? I'm going to tap into them. Why? Because they need an income, and it's their choice whether they come aboard or not. But I'm going to pursue it, and we'll see what happens. And if they choose not to, of course, I feel like that's really a shame for them. But you know, this gives them an outlet that they can tap into.
So good, Mimi. So good. So true.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to say one other thing, that a lot of the huge companies that are in business today came out of our last recession. Uber was one of them. Okay, Uber was formed in the recession. There's like, unfortunately, I can't remember all of them. I'm tempted to say Amazon, but I don't know that Amazon was one of them. But huge companies were formed during the recession, the last one. So again, I look at that and I say, we have an opportunity here. We don't have a non-opportunity. We actually do have an opportunity.
So good.
Hey, Tom, this is Kelly. I just had one little thing that I kept it really simple is, and I realized this, is I was thinking I'm not going to reach out to less people because of their situation. I'm going to reach out to more people because of their situation.
Yeah.
Just something to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Tom, I have a real quick question.
Angelina, I want to hear it. I just want to say something with Kelly. Kelly, congratulations. Yeah. You are showing Kim and I, and of course a lot of people, how unbelievably persistent you are and how much you're attracting so many good people. Congratulations on your crazy wild success. I just want to say that too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Congrats.
Yes. Hi, Angelina, and welcome aboard, by the way.
I know. I'm going to get rolling here today.
I
For
know.
sure.
I just heard you're Wisconsin, by the way.
Yes, I know. It just comes out. It just comes out. Okay, so a lot of people, I have a beauty page with my other two businesses. So I planted the seeds. I let them know what I'm going to be doing, getting them psyched up about it. Would you like to come into the Savvy Life? Would you like to just see what's out there? You know, either whether it's business or whatever. Okay, so where I'm going with this is they're like, oh, so is this just like Zaya? Is that the other Zaya leggings or?
Competitor.
Okay, so me being new in here, when they say, oh, it's just like that, how do I explain what the difference is? What is different? What is going to be different as far as that goes, so I can explain to people?
Good question. This is kind of going back on the word vomit. There's two approaches, and if you're new-ish, I would say, oh my gosh, there is a huge difference. But is it cool if I add you to the Facebook group so you can kind of see what's happening, and it'll kind of explain a little bit about what we're doing? You almost don't need, sometimes you don't need to attack it head on. Just say, oh my gosh, there is a huge difference. And sometimes all they need to know is, yes, there's a huge difference. And if you don't know quick and simple the difference, just put them in the group. There, in your case, I know there's a video on that specifically that you can tag them to.
Okay.
And just let the video and the tool do the work so it doesn't come out, so you don't have to explain it.
Yeah. And I haven't. I said, well, why don't you check it out for yourself? And so I added, I think, 8 people this morning to the Savvy Life, which is great. That doesn't mean that they're going to sign on or anything, but excuse me. But they're very interested. Everybody's excited, it seems. But what I have been telling them is that our prices are going to range from $30 to $80 versus, you know, a lot of other products. I hope that's not too much word vomit, as we're talking about. And the fact that we have all sizes. And I think that that is one thing. One of the girls that's going to join today after I get signed up, she is like, I can't fit in half of these things. I'm not a big, you know, she's like, I need to feel comfortable and in my own clothing and be able to carry that for all sizes. And so that's what I've been telling them is a huge difference. So I hope that's not word vomiting, but.
No, I would just the biggest thing I would say is less is definitely more.
Okay.
Like some of the things you were sharing, and maybe it's because I'm a guy and my wife might go in a little bit more detail. For me, I don't say anything. I don't go into any detail about sizing or price or that much. But that's fine. As long as you don't say it, as long as you can say a quick sprinkle, like our pricing is going to be competitive. It varies the price. And I always just keep it, the price definitely varies. And I just keep it simple and short. It's definitely going to be competitive. People normally, not all people, some analytical people do want the detailed questions. So they do want that. And you got to give it to them some way, somehow, preferably not out of here though. Okay. Yeah. Preferably.
Red personalities. They want everything.
But most, and it's literally 90%, they're not asking. A lot of times people ask you a question because they just want to know, especially if it's coming from a business perspective, they want to do the business. They're only asking because they want you to explain, can I do it? Will this work? So they'll keep asking all these interesting questions, and you got to be careful not to go too deep with everyone, because all they really want to know is, Angelina, you can do this. It works. The water's warm. A lot of people are succeeding. The pricing's great. The comp plans, I mean, everything works. They have all this. They'll keep going like a cookie monster. If you feed a cookie monster one cookie, all you'll have to do is keep feeding them another cookie. And you can never satisfy the questions coming in, because if you get that momentum going with answering all the questions, sometimes they'll just keep going. And sometimes you need to have discernment to answer it, especially if they have experience like you as an example, and they really do need that answer. So there is a difference. And I was telling Lisa this yesterday. She's like, well, how do I know when to do it short and go deeper and all that? That is the part where it does take a little bit of experience and learning. If you're not enrolling, you probably went too long or something like that. It's kind of like golf. If you're too short, the ball will go left. And if you're too hard, the ball will go right. And that sweet spot's the thing that Kim and I have learned to get in that flow, and it's just keep it real simple. I know we're going.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know we're going long, everybody, but I'm going to keep going for a few more. And if you got to go, take off. But if you have a question, keep going. Anybody new have any questions on closing or anything else? And by the way, remember to keep it, for those of you that came on generic, towards the end, remember there's a lot of different companies on the Saturday training. So try to keep it a little bit generic with your product. But if you say it, it's not that big of a deal. I know there's some amazing wellness companies on here, and Pure Haven's on here, and amazing Young Living people on here as well, and many other companies.
Hi, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm Andrea Baker. I'm going to scare you with my morning look.
You're not scaring me.
But you know what I struggle with is the peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Like I will run and I will be killing it. I have 50-50 custody with my kids. So I have a week on and a week off. And so the week with my kids, I'm definitely spread more thin and I get a little bit done. I try and do my like 10-10-10s or whatever, my little activity. And then the week they're gone, I can really power through and I'll have these like huge successes. And then I'll have a week of like nothing. And I just want to be more even in everything in my life, but just, in general for business to keep it like less ups and downs. So I'd love your advice.
Courtney, I'm learning from the team right now. Are you in Courtney's business by any chance?
Yes, she's my power partner. Then
I'm telling you what, of anybody I can think about right now in this industry, it's Courtney Nye.
Yeah.
Courtney Nye is a busy mom, right?
Oh, and she's singularly focused. She has said, I'm doing this like it's month end every day for 6 months to a year.
By the way.
And it shows, it's showing. And I'm like, cause we were neck and neck first month. And then this month I had 2 weeks of like a little downtime. Cause I also find, in a regular job, you work 5 or 6 days and you get a day off. In this job, like if you don't like claim you're down, you're toggling, like you were saying before, you're toggling, you're constantly scrambling. And that's how I am. I'm more of like, I do a lot of things and then things fall through the cracks, because I did too much all at once. And then I don't do, I can get off track, and keeping that singular focus is challenging.
Yep. That's the root issue of this whole call. Thank you for sharing that, by the way, because if you all world changers heard that one point right there, and you can just get in the zone of consistency, and it's so here's what I would tell you is all you can do is all you can do, but all you can do is enough. So what I heard from Courtney that literally is amazing. I might change my whole future to do what Courtney's doing. Courtney does 10 invites a day, 10 follow-ups a day, and 10 new relationships for her, I think Facebook. She adds 10 new, 10 new on social media, let's say. Instagram, TikTok. I'm prospecting like crazy on TikTok right now. It's so simple. It doesn't matter the social platform, by the way. Don't overthink it. But she does 10, 10, and 10. And I saw her do this literally on a live stream on a Zoom. She had her kids running down the street, I think in Florida, and she was on a training Zoom. And I bet she's prospecting while she says she prospects on the potty. She prospects. She does what she can around busy kids.
Yes.
If all you had to do is get 10, 10, and 10, your day is done, and you're probably more productive than 99.99% of every single network marketer in the world.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you the other thing she does, and she should share, because she lives in South Carolina, but we see each other. She came to visit for the weekend, and she has the most awesome, she really keeps good records, which I'm not great at. Like I have a notebook in my purse, and then I have my Word document that I try and add, but she does not. She makes sure she has the list of who she's already added to the Facebook page, who she's talked to, and she is meticulous in that. And I think that's something I'm missing too. Cause I'm like, I think I talked to her, but I don't remember if I talked to her. I know I meant to call her, but I'm not sure if I did. you know,
Yeah.
and then I'm scrolling to find the message on my messenger or my Instagram messenger, or like, where did I, you know, then I spend 10 minutes trying to find the thing, you know, so it's better to keep that meticulous book. And she has a notebook for this and a notebook for this. And she's so good about it. Yeah.
You could,
she needs to train. She needs to do one of these calls for
you
sure.
could copy that. When I went from scattered papers and prospects everywhere, because I am the least detailed person in the world. I remember one day feeling so much pain. I said, if I'm ever going to live like a blue personality, which is a fun, like my personality, if I'm ever going to have fun in this world, I better stop making an excuse that I'm not detail oriented and good at following up with my prospects with a system. And as soon as I did that, I enrolled 500 people the next year personally. Wow. And it was so, enrolling 500 people, I think I worked less than everybody else in the company. I worked so few hours because I had no fat in my day, and I was extremely good at scaling, because you can only scale, you can only manage a few, 30, 40, 50, 100 people maybe, if it's in your head or on paper. You've got to scale it to the thousands over the years with a system. So the system is this: paper, use some kind of paper, and if you have to, paper's number one, simplest, and then you can file them. Number two would be, an example would be Trello. Go get a free app for Trello and go on YouTube and say, how do I use Trello as a contact manager? And then thirdly would be a contact manager. Everybody should, and it might take you a year to get there, don't do it overnight, but everybody should be using an online contact record system to manage your prospects for life.
Is that like a CRM? Is that what this CRM is? Okay. Because there's free ones. There's some free ones available I saw, but I don't know how to do that. I'm an actor by trade, so I have no like business sense at all. I mean, I do. I do. It works, but I like that. Like anything that's like Excel, I'm like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, CRM. Okay, thank you. And then just like the peaks and valleys, just like daily. So just and I know that system, and that's, by the way, that's her minimum. That 10-10-10 is her minimum. Yeah. But like, just make sure you just knock that out.
The reason why I like 10-10-10, and I'm a high producer. If I don't get to 50 to 100 a day, I feel crazy. But I was thinking about it. I'm going to slow down, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to focus on the most beautiful. For me, I'm going to do 20-20-20 at least. But I'm going to take my time with 20. I'm going to love those 20. If I picked you and you're my 20, man, there's a reason why. I didn't just randomly do it. Like Mimi. Yeah. I didn't randomly, even though she thinks she did. She likes to bust my butt. Like, Tom, I know what you're doing to me. I'm like, no, you don't. Yes, you do, but no, you don't, because I really do want you in my business. But she knew what I was doing in the process, like how I was asking the questions. She knew because she's been a part of my training. Anyways, because if you did 10-10-10 and you got 10 people to do 10-10-10, you're doing 100, 100, 100 every day.
Yes, no, I see
Think about that.
Yeah.
You just need, and it might take you time to get 10 that do 10 that do 10. But when you do that, you're done financially. You should be smoking it. And you are a business person. You are everything. You've got it all. You are just as good as Courtney when you make that choice to not say that you're not a business person. You make that choice to you're not a job anymore. You're in your own career instead of someone else's career.
Yeah.
It's now you. And that is the hard part. But it's not when you make that decision to own it. And
okay, thank you.
It does take muscles, y'all. It takes muscles of getting in a zone. And Courtney, I heard one of the things I teach in here is treat every day like it's the last day of the month. That's when I'm in that zone, you will be one of the top, at least prospectors in your entire team. If any of you did that, and Courtney and Amy and so many other people on the Zoom right now are world changers, are exploding because they're in that zone more often.
Yeah.
It's not
Thank
easy.
you.
It's not easy.
I just want to be consistent. I just don't, I don't want to do that, but I agree. And I can do that. I can implement that. I know there's no magic trick. It's just a matter of committing.
10, 10, 10, even when the kids are there. Find
Yeah.
10, 10, 10, you could do the busiest of busy people can do 10, 10, 10.
I agree.
Not easy
Thank
at
you.
first. It'll feel really uncomfortable at first because you're not used to it. It's kind of like doing marathon training. Day one might be painful and hard. And it might feel like it's never going to work if it's day one or day two or month one. It might feel like that. It's normal. Okay, please just keep, if you got to take off, you're not obligated to be here anymore, obviously, or ever. But is there anybody else, since the call is packed and maybe you didn't answer your question, is there anybody else that I can help? Yes, what someone said really quickly, if someone's not interested in the business, I always put them on the customer funnel or the customer ATM system. So I'll put them in a customer video or a customer Facebook group or a customer process. And I will immediately recruit first and miss with a sale. Some of you get the sale first, the retail product sale like Christine Brock, and then you upgrade them into business. What works? Both. Don't overthink it. What works best for the catching fish is testing what do you like better, what's better for your company, what's better for your system. Don't let anybody tell you that there's one way that's superior. It's not true. Some companies thrive with customer first, upgrade to business. Many companies, or a season, sometimes it's only a season. There's the team that one of the teams that we're working with, the season is pre-launch. The season is lead with the business. To me, it doesn't make as much sense to lead with the product during pre-launch. Pre-launch is getting territory. When you're established and you got your customer acquisition program dialed in, converting to customers might be better because you go for the masses. Most people understand buying products more than they understand why do I need to join this team building residual base. It's new to them. So sometimes it is easier to lead with the product unless you're in pre-launch, in my opinion. Unless you're in pre-launch with a great customer dialed in program, then maybe that's a different story too. Okay, anybody else? Otherwise we're gonna wrap up right now. Is there one more? Christine, okay, I'm gonna read one more thing. Anybody else? Come on, I know there's one more burning. All right, if you want to do it after this. Someone said privately to me, this is the time when everybody needs, okay, by the way, this is bonus faith-based message for about a minute or less. And I want to pray for you guys. If you want me to pray for you, stick around. If not, we'll see you next training. Okay. Thank you for being in this amazing group of people here. All right. This is the time when everybody needs some encouragement. Christ in you, the hope of glory. God has a better plan. This is the flock Jesus gave you to shepherd. Okay, so I think she's talking to me. So, and it resonated with me what she was saying. I don't know if I was supposed to read that. I hope I don't get in trouble. But but here's what I mean by that. Here's what hit my heart with that one is you. If you are here right now, you are not born. I mean, literally, you are not designed for a spirit of fear. You are not designed or even capable by yourself. This is a fact. You may or may not believe it. I'm just telling you what I believe. You are not designed to take on fear by yourself. It doesn't work that way. If you try to do it by yourself in your own mind and our own brains and our own humanness, it for me and for most, it leads to depression and stress and anxiety and, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end. But when, and again, this is the bonus part, but when you have a partner, which the partner is the God through Jesus who created you in his image and his likeness for a purpose and a calling to be bold with massive amount of faith. We're designed that way as kids. And again, whether you believe the faith part or not, we were designed to be bold. We were designed to be more powerful than the most powerful lion in the world. We were designed to be more intelligent than one of the most intelligent species, animals in the world. We were designed to be the dominant alpha, even if you're shy. We are the king of the heap. for a designed calling and purpose of why we're here on this earth, which means you don't have to live in fear, especially if you open up that Bible and you start learning. And even if you're not into it, even if you don't believe, every growth book came from that in some form or not. Just go through Proverbs, go through Corinthians where it talks about love, go through learning about Solomon, the wealthiest human being in the world. Go through some of the stories in there and pray. And most importantly, press into the relationship with Jesus, because if he flows through you, he'll give you that peace. He'll give you that joy. He'll give you that confidence, and he'll give you that discernment to weather the ups and downs. Because if you're really going through ups and downs, I'll just say it, for me, I know it's a spiritual battle, not a business battle, because I'm getting caught up into my own mind of fear and, oh my gosh, what if this happens? Or what if they say this? And why did that person just attack me? And I can't believe she's saying that to me, or he's saying that to me, right? It's so hard to manage that personally in our own little world. It's way easier when we have an advocate, and that advocate is Jesus. So I want to pray for you guys real quick, and then we're going to wrap up this World Changer call. So Lord, we thank you so much that you are our protector, our advocate, our peace, our joy, our creator. You are the person that died specifically for us over 2,000 years ago. And you died specifically for our sins that we've done and our sins in the future. You died so we don't have to take on all the fear and all the worry that this world wants to put on our shoulders. It's done in your name. It's already done. We're already victorious. There's nothing to worry about. We just need to walk out what you gave us with our hands, our mind, our brain, and just walk out blessing and transforming lives. And if we're in a business, we're supposed to love. If we're in a business, we're supposed to prosper, which means be diligent where we are at in our businesses right now and with our relationships in all areas of life for that matter. But we're talking about business right now. So Lord, we just pray that you give us that confidence, that discernment, that clarity, that boldness to go out there and love people through this. And by loving them more, they'll be attracted to us. But we're not trying to do anything other than just do what we should be doing anyways, which is loving people, connecting with people, and helping people in this situation by bringing them into an environment and a culture that breathes life. So Lord, we just pray for clarity. We pray for that boldness in your name, Jesus. Amen. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, my spiritual mama, for sharing that with me and privately. Thank you so much. Yeah, Trello's a good for contact manager, or for going through lots of prospects in a day.
Can you transfer an Excel spreadsheet into Trello?
I'm sure you can, Jerry, but I'd hire someone if I was knowing you and my sister and me. I wouldn't want to tackle that one. I'm sure you can. And here's what I would do, Jerry, and everybody, if you ever want to know anything about stuff like that, go on YouTube and say, how do I export Excel into Trello? Actually, let me give you better advice, Jerry, what I would do. I don't usually, what I do is I'll just focus on one prospect at a time, like I talked about with Kim, and then have the Excel spreadsheet open, and then take that one person, contact them, invite them, and then put them in Trello one at a time is what I do. Because every time I try to manage putting everything over, it takes me weeks or days or hours. I don't want to spend that hours. So I just take that one person and start from one, and it'll start replicating fast that way if you do it right.
Okay.
All right. Love you guys so much. I know this was a long call, but I wanted to be here for you guys and help you as much as I can. Okay, let's rock it. Tuesday, if you guys are in part of the priority year, we're going to rock it. This next Tuesday is the next group World Changer call. So every Tuesday, Saturday, just get in like clockwork to be here, team. All right. We're gonna help people create wealth while having a life. And one other quick message I want to share. One quick statement. What if the internet was gone right now too? Thank goodness the virus didn't crush the internet, because then we'd be in trouble. To be honest, I'd be in trouble if the internet was gone right now. I might be a little bit scared. I might be a little bit more worried. I'm preparing for the wealth part of money. Kim and I's goal now is to take 40% off the top and start putting it into other asset building things. So if You never know. I mean, I'm not going to count anything for granted anymore for the rest of my life. I love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Thanks, Jerry, for your contribution. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye, Andrea. Bye, Margie. Bye, Katie, who else is still here? Jen, Carly.
Bye.
Beyond Blessed. Good to meet you, Beyond Blessed. Hi, Jen. Hi, Melissa Morgan. Hi, KQ. Hi, Vicky. Leanne. Who else we have? Monica. Tess. Hey, Tess. Hey, Heidi. Wow, a lot of you are here. Barb. Gilchrist is my mom's name, or Dottie Gilchrist. Who else we have? Kristie. Got a lot of secret agents. Brooke's still here. Brooke Ryan. Kim Vernon. So many leaders. Rachel Smith's here. Hey, Jordan. Jordan Lipidot. Oh, Lipidot. Is that how you say your name? All right. Hey, and if I ever don't say your name right, please let me know. I wanna get better at that. Okay, God bless you guys. Bye-bye, everybody.